Some people don't overthink because something is wrong with them. They overthink because their minds are doing exactly what they were designed to do. Why overthinking happens? Overthinking is not a single habit, it is a pattern. A pattern created by several mental processes working together. At its core, overthinking begins with the brain's ability to imagine the future. The human mind can simulate outcomes before they happen. This ability helps with planning. It helps with learning. It helps avoid mistakes. Most of the time, this is useful. But for some people, the simulation does not stop. One possibility becomes several. Several become many. Each imagined outcome carries emotional weight. The mind moves ahead of the present moment, trying to prepare for everything at once. Pattern recognition without limits. People who overthink are often very good at noticing patterns. They see connections quickly. They notice subtle changes. They track details others miss. This kind of awareness is valuable. But when pattern recognition is applied to uncertainty, it becomes exhausting. A brief conversation turns into extended analysis. A small decision feels unusually important. The brain keeps searching for meaning, even when there is nothing left to solve. And uncertainty is everywhere. The role of control. Another reason people overthink is the need for control. When outcomes are unclear, the mind responds by thinking more. If every angle is examined, uncertainty feels smaller. If every risk is considered, mistakes feel less likely. Thinking becomes a way to manage discomfort. Not intentionally, automatically, but uncertainty cannot be eliminated through thought alone. The more the mind tries to control the future, the more possible futures it creates, and each one demands attention. Responsibility and emotional depth. Overthinking is rarely emotionless. Thoughts are tied to values, to responsibility, to concern about impact. People who overthink often care deeply about consequences. They ask questions like, what if this choice affects someone negatively? What if there is a better option I have not seen yet? This is not weakness. It is conscientiousness. But when responsibility has no boundaries, it becomes paralysis. When thinking turns into rumination, not all thinking is the same. Problem-solving moves forward. It leads toward a decision or action. Rumination does not. Rumination repeats the same questions without new insight. Overthinking often begins as problem-solving and slowly turns into rumination. The same thoughts return. Nothing new appears. No action follows. The mind stays busy, but progress stops. What actually helps with overthinking? Overthinking does not improve through force. Trying to stop thoughts usually makes them louder. What helps is changing how the mind relates to thinking, separating useful thinking from mental noise. One evidence-based approach is learning to distinguish between productive thinking and unproductive rumination. A helpful thought leads somewhere. It results in action, planning, or resolution. An unhelpful thought repeats without movement. A simple question can help. Is this thought leading to action or looping without progress? If nothing changes, more thinking is not the answer. Limiting mental analysis. The mind works better with boundaries. Research-backed therapies often encourage limiting how long the mind is allowed to analyze a problem. This means deciding in advance. How much thinking is enough? Decisions are made with sufficient information, not perfect information. When the limit is reached, thinking stops. This reduces mental fatigue and restores a sense of control. Acting before feeling certain. Overthinking often waits for certainty. But certainty rarely arrives through thinking alone. Action often creates clarity faster than analysis. Small action is enough. Sending the message, making the decision, taking the next step. Action grounds the mind in reality instead of possibility. Redirecting attention gently. Another proven strategy is attention redirection. Thoughts do not need to be argued with. They need to be noticed and released. Instead of engaging every thought, attention is shifted. to the body, to the environment, to the present task. This is not avoidance. It is reorientation. The mind learns that not every thought requires a response. Allowing uncertainty. Many clinical approaches emphasize acceptance of uncertainty. Not liking it, not solving it, allowing it. Uncertainty is not a failure of thinking. It is part of being human. When uncertainty is allowed, mental pressure decreases. The mind no longer needs to fill every gap. Thinking as a tool, not a rule. One of the most helpful shifts is realizing that thinking is optional. Thoughts will arise. That is normal. But engagement is a choice. Some thoughts are useful. Others are simply noise from an active mind. Letting thoughts pass without engagement reduces their intensity over time. People overthink because their minds are capable, attentive, and deeply engaged. Not because something is wrong. The same mind that overanalyzes is the one that understands complexity and cares deeply about outcomes. The goal is not to silence that mind. It is to give it boundaries. Sometimes clarity comes from thinking, and sometimes it comes from stopping. When thinking becomes a tool again, there is space to breathe.